Kibe, I'm done. Like,
Jane.
I'm done.
Hii kitu umekudunga?
Imefika personal. Wacha mtu mwingine achukue microphone, but let's just, if you're to be objective, Kibe is saying something that's true. We need a leader, but we need somebody who's clean. Oki has been defending us for so long, but haizi ongea. But tumekuwa tukimwona, I'm an advocate. He files petitions. You know, that's money. To file petitions, you need that money. He's been fighting for us. We need clean people. For now, we don't. We accept hatuna mtu, ni ukweli. Tunakan kama tuko aimless. But we have an aimless voice that's being heard all over the world. If we're not, those scandals, the white t-shirts, let's get out. People have died, manze. Those are people with families. Mama alikuwa anatoka Githurai kwanza, guys. Githurai. I think we're forgetting. What was that in Githurai? What was that? That is a massacre. That's a crimes against humanity. A cheetah never changes its prints. Ruto ni ule wa kuchoma ile chachi ya Kiamba ndio huyo. Na bado ndio mnasema mnataka kukaa na yeye. After mmekewa sniper juu ya parliament, inakuja kushoot youths. Si Mungiki, si jeshi ya baba, wale ni violence. Walikuwa najua hao ni baddies. Mi ni baddie. Amenitan mimi soft babe into mtu unapiga makelele hapa online. Hata mtu anaweza shangaa. Msichana ina gani? Atuache mchezo, let's fight for our rights. Yeah, you have the right to picket and demonstrate peacefully. We are carrying placards, we are carrying water, we are carrying toothpaste. Let us get out. Our voice should not be silenced, not at this point. We are really so close. Even the people, mnatisho baridi, hata wale watu wako kwa military wanasema, watoto hawajui. Manze hawajui, wako so close. Yeah, let's not be real. Wanasema ngati, when they came into power, they are a prayerful government. Guys, this is the prayerful government. Ile inawekea snipers juu ya parliament, hao ndio masagod. Afadhali ule Uhuru alikuwa anasema ni wapombe na mavela. Sisi watu wa mavela tunakuanga very real. We keep it real 100 all the time. Waneka budget ya 1B State House kunywa chai. God damn it, unless hizo cows inatoa gold. Mama napewa tenda ya furniture. Ya ngapi? Ndio aturingi hapa na rahaga yake akiweka hapa online. Na magari zetu, pesa zetu. We work 8 to 5 for mediocre advocates. How much are we getting for a junior advocate? Wengine mnaanza na 40,000 after you've gone to school for how long? You've gone to school undergrad for 4 years. KSL ikupige chenga hapa, maybe utoke ukwe lucky 2 years. Some people are even there for 4 years. You go earn 40,000. This man wants to tax this money. And we're not against taxes. We're against our tax being used the wrong way. We want accountability. And when you demand for accountability, it's not a favor they're doing us, guys. It is not a favor. And that is why when Kibe says we need leaders, you see how leaders ndo atasema sasa, hapa tunaenda grassroots. Kwanza hii IBC, guys, we have so many things that we need to sanitize in this country. IBC, 2 years down the line, it's not been constituted. If we had IBC, tungetoka kesho na tunasema IBC kesho tunataka elections in 1 month. Now see us sitting pretty as they eat our money. And I know I'm being bitter, nimekuwa najua mtanitumia my DMs pro Ruto nyinyi. We are fighting for the country. It's not about tribes. Right now, you've not had anything. Watu wanasemanga, Raila, jeshi ya baba, Wajaluo, mmetusikia. I'm sorry to be personal right now. It is us. Let's fight for us. Our voice is one. Us the iPhone babes, us the KFC people. You're the ones analyzing this document that they just wanted to pass blindly to the whole country. I think we need to take up, and to the wakilis, let us start doing proper civic education. You know, most people don't even know Sazile kuna public participation in bills. So many bills pass in parliament. I wish you guys would know. So many bills pass in parliament. That to me, the government of Kenya to make this finance bill a life or death situation is baffling. Alafu ende Githurai, pali waliwavotia, na wende wa mada, hata hapo sikuelewa by the way. Your script nimemiss. Hiyo nitarudia, hiyo syllabus ilienda haraka sana. What was that in our own country? 21st century, 2024. We should not agree, guys. No, I'm not taking it lightly. For the mothers who lost their kids, for the wives who lost their husbands, for the children. Niliona mtoto sijua how old ameshutiwa. Mtu mwingine alikuwa ameshutiwa bullets 3 kwa miguu. Hey. Yeah, that's all. Let's not silence our voice, guys. Let's not silence our voice.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Achieng. I appreciate that. Achieng, I don't know why I'm madam, sijui ni kwa nini, but the ladies have more psyche than men. Why? What's that about? What's going on there? Charlo Kule, what do you think that is?
Yeah, thank you, Kibe, for giving me this opportunity to speak on this podcast. Now, I want to say a few things in the next 1 minute or 2. A seed has been planted, and why we are here is to keep that seed growing, and we must not stop watering it. And we all understand that there are many things, or there have been many things that have been going wrong with this administration, and finance bill was just the trigger that caused the beginning of this revolution. And to speak into the emotions and whatnot around it, I would say this: it is very easy to whip emotions than logic, but as the youth of this country, I'm a millennial myself, we need a balance of emotions and logic. We need to be sober, even as we continue running with this revolution. Revolutions are not won in a day. Revolutions go on for some time, if you ask me. But the issue of leadership is very key, and I would say this: being leaderless is a curse and a blessing at the same time. Why? Being leaderless, it is very easy to keep going and mobilizing, because Kibe, myself, Achieng is not waiting for someone to tell him or her, let's go. But we also have to be cognizant of the fact that it is very hard to keep track of key deliverables when you do not have leadership. It is very hard to strategize without leadership. And we must understand, we are on this side and they are on that other side. Don't think that they are sitting pretty somewhere and not strategizing. If we don't strategize, just know that this is war, and wars are won on strategy, and we should strategize as well. That is why it is very critical. As much as we'd want to say currently it is not, for some people, that we have a leadership. Now, my daily JD description involves strategizing, and the essence of strategy is to plan, to know what, the how and where, and then from there you proceed to the next step, which is to execute what you've planned. At the end of the day, after your execution, you have to sit back and do a retrospect, understand, or rather see the things that you planned. Have you done them in your execution period? Because if we are not walking in the same voice, this is to say, I am in Nairobi currently, I know what I'm fighting for. Does that guy in Turkana, that Gen Z in Turkana, that Gen Z in Garissa, that Gen Z in Mombasa, that Gen Z in Lunga Lunga at the border of Tanzania, do they have a list of the things that we are fighting? If you call someone to stand up today and you ask them, now, we are fighting for the rejection of the finance bill 2023-2024. Now we are fighting, we are continuing our fight. What are the things that we are fighting? And this has been the problem that we've had, which also speaks into civil education. Why am I saying this? You find that people are just going in a crowd. If you tell them what the crowd is fighting for or what the crowd is all about, they will not be able to itemize the things. that the crowd is advocating for. We need to walk in the same pace, cognizant of the things that we are fighting for. And for me, as I finish, we must be able to have a list of the things that we want addressed, and in what order. You cannot have 20 things and then you want them done at the same time. Sometimes it could be possible, sometimes it is not possible, mostly it's not possible. So we need to have that list and the order that we want them achieved. Then from there, now we can now look at what are the tactics that we are going to use, demos being part of them, to make sure that we achieve what we've itemized to achieve. For me, very lastly, the bill has been rejected. It has been taken back to Parliament. For me, if you ask me today, I would say we go and camp at Parliament. We force the Speaker to convene the Parliament, and they officially withdraw that bill in totality because of the intricacies that can happen in lawmaking, looking at our constitution. Then at that same time, that's the time that we should be looking for leadership. That's the time we should be looking for the other things that we need addressed. Then we rally with that. We do not stop. We continue until all our demands are met, including the resignation of the president, if it has to come to that point, including the constitution of the IBC and all other things that I would like to see. Thank you, Kibe. Back to you.
Kibe, can I say something? Uliniita nilikuwa najipanga kwenda maandamano.
Ushatoka?
Hapana, ndio sasa nishavaa, nataka kutoka tu saizi.
Take, give us your points.
Okay, so first things first, I'll talk about what I know and shun from what I don't know. Alafu, I'll actually dwell with your speech ya Prezo jana, and I'm speaking from a POV enye. I'm a journalist myself. And one thing I'd say, kwanza kabla nianze, it's just to condemn all the journalists, peer number one, because at the end of the day, we are looking at a good example. Mse kama Larry, looking at him, what he is actually doing, woni mse mwenye amedefy all odds. He's not being bent at all. Nacheki, alafu my fellows here, I actually did a tweet in regards to the same jana. My fellow journalists hapa hivi, because we know, sisi ni watu wenye Wednesday pale jioni tuko bunge, tunapatiwa tu hizi handouts na hawa UDA MPs. That's why people are afraid of talking. And kukuonyesha hii kitu ya Ruto jana ilikuwa ukora. Look at the media stations that were even given chance to like speak out. Hao ni watu wawili. Hiyo ni Cape Media. And we're also looking at MediaMax. Angalia who they are affiliated to. So this whole thing was planned. Because as a media practitioner, I know there is one thing about priming and framing. Media ndo inatumikanga saa zingine kuset agenda. So in as much as tuta come out kukondem, and I was even telling a couple of friends ile time yenye wasoa wanaanza kukondem hapa ati Kibe amesema hii, ye ni mbaya, Butita ni mbaya, nini, ni sawa. Guys can condemn. But we also not looking at the people who we are supposed to condemn. Because kazi ya media ni nini? Tuko hapa hivi ndani sisi wote. Kazi ya media ni nini? But we are seeing the people are not even saying anything. Unaona, because kuna ile kitu wenye wanasemanga ati kuside. You are also allowed to have your opinion, because what is happening right now is actually not supposed to happen. So hiyo ndio beat yangu about the media na ukore yenye inafanyika, because at the end of the day they are also being twisted to try and create a certain agenda to the people. Unaona, na ndio maana huwezi cheki mse wa media, mse wa Standard anapewa hata mic aonge, hauta cheki mse wa Royal Media pia anapewa mic aonge, because they know what they will ask, and probably that's the same thing enye itaweka down to the ground. Alafu saizi I'd honestly say saini time ya tuende tu pale nje kwa streets. At the end of the day, nimekam kurealize one thing. I'm saying this because I'm, as well as me nimefanya masters yangu. So I'm also educated, as per they say. Lakini nimekam kurealize kitu moja. Saa zingine kutotumia akili huwa inasaidia. A good example is Salasia. Salasia is my area MP. Mimi ni msomo mi-assist. Huwa jamaa tunamtusi, tunafanya kafala nini. But anapiga job. Unaona? And what do we want these leaders to do? Wapige job. Sasa saa zingine, in as much as we'd want to be overthinkers, tunatoka from wako cocoons hapa hivi, kuna maloya hapa, kuna sijui watu wagani, wana overthink, wanasema you know there is this. Hiyo ku overthink ndio itafanya to drown. We are not supposed to overthink. Strike while the iron is still hot. Saizi ni point yenye tumefika. We are not even using, atufai hata kutumia akili. How can you sit down on a table na mtu mwenye alishoot mtu kwa kichwa na sniper? Anatuambia nini? Anatuambia tista kushoot leo lakini nitakushoot next week. You see, so that's the whole point. We are supposed to reach a point because these people are afraid of force. Na sasa tukifika time yenye tunaanza kutoana chini, tunaanza kusema nini, it doesn't make sense. The only voice of reason that na believe inafaa to reason too, alafu tuache reasoning, tukishamaliza hiyo reasoning ni a leader. Because to be honest, hata what Kibe you are saying about we really need a leader, hiyo ni ukweli. Lakini far from that, we are not supposed to start reasoning about things. We are not supposed to start reasoning about sijui corruption. We are not supposed to be reasoning about hizo vitu zote tushafanyiwa. Tumekosewa, get that straight. Tushakosewa. And I'd be honest with you guys, mimi sikuenda maandamano ya kwanza on Tuesday, but from what I saw, the way vilifanya kuanzia Tuesday ndio likosa pekee, but hizi zingine zote nimekuwa bro. Why? Because I saw we've been wanting this particular thing. Na kuna GenZs wameipush. Sisi millennials, what best can we do is to support them. Sasa kama saizi siwezi danganya, mimi sijui niko kwa rende gani, lakini naenda. Kama kuna wa parliament tutaenda, kama kuna wa state house tutaenda. Because of what? Because of numbers. In as much as we have the brains, they cannot listen to us if we don't have the numbers. Na hizo numbers ndio tumekuwa tukionyesha tuko nazo. So in as much as tunataka kuanza kuambia hapo hivi wase, there is this, tuna overthink, tuna rido, sijui, nini, tutoke tuende kwa streets. Saa zingine akili pia isaidiangi. Let us use that force, alafu tukitumia hiyo force, ya tuharibu vitu za wase, tunaenda for the numbers. Hata kuja basi tau rande tu basi. It's important that we have those numbers, and it's important that these people know that we are supposed to be here and they are supposed to listen to us. So once we are done with that particular space, ndio tutaenda sasa kwa leadership. Hiyo kwa leadership ndio reasoning yenye tumi nakubaliana that we can channel our brains towards it. Hapo kwa leader correct ni sawa. Cause saizi hata tunachikia hata hao maselebu wenye wanasumbua same mtaani. No offense. Hakuna mtu mmoja mwenye jana niliona Otile Brown huko anazunguka ile side ya Luthuli Avenue. Haya, kuna wengine wenye tushajua ni wapale I&M, hiyo corporate zone. Wanatulia hapo hivyo. But when the action starts to get down, si kuna the likes, kuna mtu kama Obina si anatokea na mse wake wa video anamwambia make sure umecapture hii kitu ikiniendea. Guys are taking this thing kama wana ride nayo. Yani ni kama imeanza kuwa for the likes, social media imeanza kuwa nini? We are fighting for our rights, but and for the very first time voice yetu imeanza kusikika. So hii ndio time yenye hawa wenye wanatuonyesha hawa kina Khalif Cairo ama kina nini wenye wanatuonyesha that they can do it, ndio basi inafaa sasa tuende. By the way, today is the day kabisa. Leo ndio ile siku yenye tunawaambia hapana ni hivi. Then from here now we can now decide that we are using this particular person as our leader. Hapo kwa leadership ndio naweza kubalia. And me sasa iko personal kwangu, cause at the moment by the only social media platform yenye sasa natumia ni hii pekee. Social media yangu ilishatiwa down, Facebook, Instagram ilishatiwa down, TikTok sijui na naambiwa sijui child sexual violation. I don't even, yani sioni, because I made a comment in regards to nikasema stand yangu. Nilitweet tu na nikasema Kenya Ruto ametufanyia ni mbaya lakini sijui imeingiana na sex. It doesn't make sense. So these people they are intimidating us, but we are not seeing that. Tuende saizi sasa ya kupigana, tuende wote. Alafu tukishaenda wote, today I honestly think it's the D-Day, and it's the day that we can also decide at the end of the day that we are using this particular person as our leader. Hiyo ndio penye reasoning yetu inafaa isimame. Otherwise hatufai ku reason kwa kitu kingine yoyote. Hiyo tu peke yake. Nashukuru, acheni mimi nikimbie maandamano, wenye wanakuja ni sawa, tutapatana huko hivyo. Wenye hawakuji pia you can help us through these particular spaces. Pia mnafanya kazi poa. Saizi si time ya kuanza kusema ati wewe hukuji ni Pia nyinyi mnafanya kazi poa online. Continue marshalling up people, cause kuna ule msemo mwenye atasikia tu maneno ya wasee na atatokea. So we are all doing a great job. Asanteni.
Kibe, if I may.
Hold up one second, Simon. I wanted to rebuttal on that Cedric point. So Cedric, you know, the thing about the leaders, and I see why you guys are scared, is because the group can protect the leaders. So the leaders don't make a decision unless they have gone back to the group, and the group agrees that this is the way we want to go. Unaelewa? So the group has to go. Bro, this is so technical. Otherwise, you go on with the original plan, which is do what you have to do. Go ahead, Simon.
Morning, guys. How are you? I hope everybody is well. Thank you for this space. Now, we're at an interesting point here, and sadly, we're already divided. And it's good that we admit that we can never all agree on the strategy and the attack points. There are people who want us to go and occupy State House. There are people who want us to call for the resignation of the president. There are people who want to wait and see what Parliament will do. So we all have different opinions, all right? And we are all suggesting different attack points. Our number one thing that we should do, this is in my view, we did not get into this particular tipping point as a country by mistake. It was by design. It was by design of the 2010 Constitution. And there are some things that we should address, because even if we choose a new president today, he will still have a headache running the country. Why? Because our finances are not well set up. When we decided to create 47 counties, there is no country in this world that has such an expensive system of government like Kenya. If you go down to South Africa, they have 9 governors and things are a little bit working, all right? They have about 450 MCAs. Huku tuko na 1,643 MCAs, plus another 770 nominated MCAs. So we're spending billions maintaining political offices that are not helping us. And that's why I honestly feel we're at a point where we should escalate the conversation past the finance bill. It is sad that lives were lost when we went to demonstrate. I was in the CBD and I saw guys being shot down, right? I was in the CBD and it was actually terrifying to see somebody lying on tarmac. But also, it's good that we admit, how did we get here also? The Kenya Kwanza coalition will not listen to us. That's how we're on this particular tipping point, where guys are now, okay, kama ni mbaya mbaya, twende. And there's no way Kenya Kwanza is going to listen to us. The deployment of the military was a show of strength from the president and from the Kenya Kwanza administration. Na jana muliona wakijipigia makofi. All right? These guys are not ready to listen to us. But also, it is wise for us to observe a little bit of restraint. Let us not just say, okay, I know emotions are high, people are angry, people are hurt, all right? And that's fuel for the revolution. But also, we need to show a little bit of restraint because we have a country to build. Right now, if you listen to the president's speech, he talked about austerity measures, which was a good strategy. Me, I'm a finance guy, all right? It's a good strategy. Because what austerity measures mean is that the government should actually cut down on unnecessary expenditure. But now, owing to the fact that Kenya Kwanza is not willing to listen to us, me, the one thing that I would propose is once the bill is actually withdrawn from the floor of parliament, it's high time we sit down as Kenyans, sisi wote tukiwa kwa hii platform, and Kenyans across the country, and also those who are abroad, and we say, yo, the salaries of the MPs is too high, cut it down. The foreign travel is too high, cut it down. We're spending too much money renovating offices, we need to cut down this. Because if you listen to last week, Treasury sent a letter to Parliament and they said, yo guys, if you don't pass this finance bill, we're going to cut help, we're going to cut the salaries for the medics, the JSS teachers, all right? So they deployed a strategy of saying, yo, there will be repercussions if you guys don't pass this finance bill. But now we as a people should go ahead and say, you're not cutting help. You will still pay our teachers. You will still pay our medics. All right. We will still have CDF funds. What we need you to cut is the unnecessary expenditure. That means foreign travel. All right. And I want to remind guys, there was a time Uhuru Kenyatta was the finance minister during Kibaki's time. And he called for austerity measures. Now, I know you guys remember when he ordered all cabinet secretaries to drive a car not having a maximum of 1,800 cc's. And we saved 2 billion in a financial year doing that. So these are some of the things that I hope that we can get out of this space of anger and just cool off and say, okay, this is a strategy. Okay? But also, the fact that we don't have a leader right now is actually not such a good thing. But I'm hoping that as the revolution continues, there are guys who are going to come out and speak out, and they're going to be noticed by the rest of us, and they're going to say, okay, I think this guy can be a good member of parliament. I think this guy can be a good senator. I think this guy can be a good women representative. Okay, guys are actually going to come out on their own. But right now we are not at a point where we can say ati undio kiongozi wetu. So me, from where I stand, is today let's observe a little bit of restraint. Okay, let's wait for the finance bill to be withdrawn, and then we can demand these austerity measures mean this and this and this. Kwanza hiyo kiti ya cabinet administrative secretaries watoe. That taxing of freehold land watoe. The housing levy, because now it's no longer about affordable houses. All right, they're a financial arsenal for the 2027 campaigns. That's what they're doing. They're storing up reserves through the housing levy, and we should be wary of that. But let us. My last point is this: let us not be led by emotions and not have a conclusive attack point. We need to sit down and create an agenda, a clear agenda with attack points, and say, this is what we demand. Thank you.
You know, Simon, the elephant in the room remains, and people don't want to hear it, because so far you've achieved this success by pretending that you don't have a leader. All of you are putting your heads in the sand and you pretend that you don't have a leader. Alafu leader akienda achotewe, mnasema, oh, he's been compromised. Who next? You can't operate like that. Unless you want to take this country into anarchy, what we're talking, we're in the State House. So whatever happens in State House today, it will decide the next move. But if it's not that, then the strategy has to change. At least you guys, you must get involved somehow beyond saying what we need is this. Yes, who's writing this shit down, Simon? Are you seeing what I'm saying? You guys have won the internet. The government is scared because you guys are not on the ground. But if you need to go to the ground, it doesn't take long to get there. So you don't even understand your own power. So these numbers are real. And these numbers are here. Play the game here. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. Play the game here, where they have no power, where the game can be, we can put it in an app and it will be fair. And it will be within a very short time. So thank you, Simon. I appreciate that. Let's move quickly. The Dawn, what's up? All right. Kidinji Muriungi.
Yes, Kibe. Yeah, so I don't want to be emotional here. Let me try to put in some sense into people's head. And I hope this goes to all of us. Sincere apologies to the lives zenye zilipotea. I've never really been into politics. I've never been on demonstration, but Tuesday maze ilinibidi. They came for me, they came for my daughter, they came for my family, they came for my tech bros, they came for my engineers, and I didn't have a choice other than to fight for myself. But another thing, Tasema Kibe, I don't know why you are recording this, but with due respect, I would urge maybe you stop recording. Because I will say this, every man has a price, and I don't know what's your price, what's my price. So saa zingine recording si fiti, but if you keep recording, I think it's fine. I think we are at a point where it's okay. Kuna msee ameongea amesema about wase walinunuliwa na hizo vitu zote. I know of 4 strategy, and let me talk about strategy and talk about things that I think watu wamesoma wanaweza elewa, ama mtu mwenye ako kwa Twitter anaweza elewa. Kuna 4 core pillars zenye tuna deal nazo hapa hivi. We are dealing with ideology, we are dealing with ego, we are dealing with pesa na coercion. So far coercion watu wamekuwa wameshikwa, hiyo ndio tumekuwa. Tumetoka hapo tumefika mali ya reward na ego saizi. Saizi ni msee kununuliwa anatoka anasonga. And I think on that same point, I don't know kama sisi wote tunajua law, but ile law kidogo mimi najua inaniambianga hivi. When you say state of XYZ, for example, state of California and the California state, those two things don't mean the same. If you say refusal and you say withdraw, those two things don't mean the same thing. And in law inakuanga hivyo. Law, they work with specific terms. So I think nimepitia hiyo kitu yote, but nakijaribu kujisomea mwenyewe, hakuna mali naona inaandikwa withdrawal still means refusal. And I think at some point we don't know the process, and that's why we are so ignorant. Na wazai wetu wanatuambia hii kitu isha go through ama imerudishwa. But truth be told, let's go and read. Hii kitu ishapita. Hata ikirudi ama ikose kurudi, hata ifanyike ama ikose kufanyike, parliament ikiwa recession inamaanisha kitu ishapita. The last thing nitasema ni hivi. Kibe, nakubaliana na wewe. Of course, leaders, we need to have leaders. And that is a fact. There is no way around that. We need leaders. And apparently, the leaders whom kind of emerged wamekuwa sellout, and that is a reality. There is no way around it. They are now becoming a sellout, and that there is no way around that. And for us to go out there, for Kenyans to go, let me say for Kenyans to go out there and actually win this war, we need wase wenye tuko sure they are putting their life in front. Otherwise, if you put your pocket in front, you will be bought. If you put your ego in front, you will be bought. But if you put a core ideology, na kama si ideology unasonga kando, then this war will be real. I've never really felt so hurt than the way I'm feeling right now, because we are not fighting Ruto, we are not fighting whoever who is there. We are fighting Kenya governance as a whole. That is a different thing. That's why you see even soldiers, that's why you see even police, that's why you see even anybody who has a sense, anasema enyewe, you guys, you are too close to winning this. The last thing I will say is, it doesn't matter what happens, there are 4 stages zenye tumekuwa tukienda. Ya kwanza ilikuwa ni arrest, na bado wana arrestiwa. Ya pili ilikuwa ni propaganda, bado propaganda iko. Right now you see, we have 2 parties. Kuna moja wanasema, hey, now let's back down, oh, this and that, propaganda. Stage ya 3 ni fake diplomacy, na hiyo diplomacy ndio iliambiwa ni ya Sunday. And then the 4th state inakuanga ni full confrontation. That's why you see mass shooting, and so, because now hii power imeenda. And I know for sure, right now we are at that point where we are debating between, should we execute stage 4 and stage 3, which Kibe is talking about leadership, we bring representative, or should we go to this 4th stage where we are going for full confrontational? Because at the moment, of course, kuna few arrests there and there, kuna propaganda, but where we are looking into going, it's either going into the 3rd stage or the 4th stage. And at that 4th stage or 3rd stage, the 3rd stage hapo ndio buyout ziko. Tushaona watu wanamenshoniwa, huyo na huyo amenunuliwa, huyo na huyo amenunuliwa. This cannot fit into be a leader. But again, if we go to the 4th stage, it's actually a break or make moment for Kenya. And I'm not, by the way, I do not advocate for anybody to lose life. What I'm advocating for is for a Kenya that maze msichana wangu ana grow, anaanza shule kesho. I want a Kenya mwalimu mtoi atasoma. I have an opportunity. I'm a student in the US, but maze I don't want to stay in the US. I want to stay home. Anytime niko US, I feel as if I need to come back. There is everything there. There is cars, there is good money. Systems are working. But maze, you go on the street, someone pisses on you and tells you, nigger, go back home. But when I'm here, I can talk, I can do, I can live. I have military friends, I have police friends. I feel secure here. But trust you me, 48 laws of power ikukosea wakati ilisema crush your enemies in totality. And whenever you engage in a bully, be sure you are the one to take the last blow, the last punch. By the way, Moi was a good guy. He was a very innocent guy until 1982 during coup, and Moi turned into a monster. Putni was a good guy until chaos zikaanza kama hizi vile zimeanza in state. Vile zilianza, Putni turned into the monster he is today. Ruto was a Christian guy, good guy, whatever, in history. I'm trying to paint a picture here. But truth is, we have two things. It's either we crash, or Ruto crashes the entire country and it becomes his. I'm not a political person, but I know for sure, power has a way. And 48 laws of power ikudanganya wakati ilisema crush your enemy in totality, or else he will crush you in totality. Nitaiachia hapo.
Kibe, can I speak after that?
Yeah, Reinhard, go ahead.
Okay. Mimi kwa nataka kusema hivi. Kibe, you have brought out a good point which I wanted to bring about leadership. But the problem is you are having, okay, we want leadership. Now, we cannot let people choose themselves. Like na Khalif Cairo yemekuja tu for views or this thing. Because before that, he was not talking about the government or governorship. So me, on my own, as a suggestive, tuangalie wale watu ambao wamekuwa wakijania government before this even the bill 2024 come. We have an example of Okiomtata. Okiomtata has been going through A, B, C, D to the court to kupinga hizi bills za government ambazo zimekuwa zikileta. Even Eric Omondi has been fighting even before the bill. Me, on my own, you don't bash me, people don't come to bash me because I'm bringing out my views. Wale watu ambao wamekuwa wakipigania these hours before the bill came out. So, Kibe, even as a kuambia just try to hold a poll and ask people, who do you think might become our leaders? People should bring out the names, and then we can bring them to the spaces where we can say, okay, sisi tutakuchagua wewe to become our leader, to go represent us. Because even if we say Ruto must go, what next? After he's gone, who is going to come next? Because hatuwezi jirule sote. Hatuwezi jirule sote. So, kuna watu wamekuwa wakitupigania before the bill. So, people should come out as Gen Z, even as millennials, as boomers, those who are supporting us. Nani unaweza think anaweza go to represent that without having fear? Because kina Khalif Cairo and kina Hanifa tumeona tayari wameanza kubo, you should not go this that. Tunataka mtu ako ready. If you are going to stay to occupy status, is going to occupy status. There is no coming back. Because hawa tutaro wameshaona they are trying to become sellouts. So that's my point. Naweza kuomba Kibe pia try have a poll. Who are you suggesting to become leaders to go represent us? Even if he's going to have talks with the president, let them go and have talks. But hii kusema people are repeating the same point here. Unaleta a different speaker, but points zinarudia. So the next point iko hivi. Nani anaweza kuwa leaders wetu? Who are you suggesting, you guys? So the next speakers, when they come, I want them to speak. Who are you suggesting? Even if you're suggesting yourself, say, I'm suggesting me because I've been doing this A, B, C, D, A. Like that. Thank you. That's my point.
All right. Thank you, Reinhard. Mwangi, what do you have to say? Mwangi, hold up. I want to hear from Fatuma. Fatuma came in hot. Fatuma, go ahead. Fatuma Abdul Kadir. Fatuma Abdul Kadir. Do Muslim ladies have a second name of their own? Ama inakuanga Buddha ama husband? Sijaijua. Mwangi, go ahead. Fatuma is doing her own things.
Thank you so much, Kibe. Thank you for this opportunity to make my 2 minutes sense. So I'm speaking on behalf of the diaspora youths. First of all, Niseme, thank you so much, guys, for making us proud, for feeling that we are owning this country, for bringing sense into every one of us. Tuna feel very proud of each and every one. So first I want to say this. Article 1 of our constitution says that the sovereignty of the country belongs to us, the people. That means the country belongs to all of us. And this is the time for us. So for me, I work with people from so many nationalities. And every time I'm going to work in the few days, they tell me, oh, we hear what is happening in Kenya, what is happening to your country, ni nini inaendelea. And I feel like right now, the world has open ears. The world is watching what is happening. Like game ni 90. So I feel like if we lose the momentum and go back home, then it means the world also closes its ears. So it's a time where we need to keep the momentum alive. Let us not leave the streets. But as we continue being in the streets, we need to do something that will actually be seen on the ground in terms of law. Article 97 and Article 98 of the law says that we have the power to recall our members of parliament. So I think as much as we are continuing to demonstrate, it is good we also put actual fights into the ground. Let us recall these members of parliament.
Mwangi, did we lose you? Who else is there? Can anybody hear me? I think it's my problem. Fatma,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can I?
Yeah, but you're using a Bluetooth or headphones. Get rid of that shit and then come back.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Lazima utoe ama kuja karibu kwa mic.
Na sahi?
Much better.
Okay, sawa sawa. So I just want to thank you Kwanza for the opportunity and for organizing this space. Me, I want to start by congratulating those who have done what they have done, the GenZs. You have already won the first step, but this is just the beginning. And I want to use the example of football because I'm a footballer. You can't play a game without a captain. There must be leadership. However small, including the teams in the villages that play on the barabara, they have a captain. Even if it's the owner of the ball who becomes an automatic leader, there must be leadership. I just watched a clip where Bonnie was being harassed and being shouted down. What are we showing? Whoever tries to stand up as a leader is put down or they are bought out. And it's really confusing for the young people, I know, but we can't bury our heads in the sand and say we don't have a leadership. Leaders are either born or they are created by movements like the one we have in Kenya now. And for me, it's high time. Give me the ball, I will score the goal myself. There's no point of standing on the sidelines and cheering the young generation, the Gen Z. As a Generation X, I want to join in the demonstration. But I can only join when I know what we need next. What are we doing next? Already, Ruto has conceded, but the concession has, as an advocate, I will say there are the fruits that are hanging low that we can pick. He has conceded, yes, but Parliament is not sitting until 22nd July. So within 21 days, the bill is going to be low. And these are red flags. How do we respond to this situation without a leadership who is going to help us to strategize? Yes, we've come out in our numbers, but what next? The next level has to be different. The strategy has to be different. If you saw the members of parliament yesterday at State House cheering, definitely it was like they were mocking us and they were laughing at us. For them, it will be the same because they'll issue the 100 shillings handout during elections, buy us changa, and we will again sing and dance for them and vote for them. The young people who have the numbers. For me, the next strategy will be first, it will be to create the leadership structure. In every county, even if it is the young parliamentarians, we have youth assembly in every county. We can start there and build on that. And secondly, in Nairobi, we also have the youth assembly. And that can be a point to start. And in every county, then reach out and form a structure, and we have a youth council in Kenya. And I have done this through football in Marsabit and in Ethiopia, and it's possible to work with the young people in a structured way. I've done this for the last 21 years through football. Our football has 3 halves. The third half is for dialogue on issues that affect the young people. We start from age 7 all the way to age 25. And why we stopped at 25? Because by 25, most of them would have spread their wings. They're able to fit into the society. For us, the key thing that affected us was about conflict, tribal conflict, and terrorism. And to beat that, you literally have to disarm the young people physically and disarm them mentally. And we did the mental disarmament through football. Shoot to score, not to kill. And for me, that can be a very good rhyming theme, even for the young people in the whole country today. But each team must have a captain. Each team must have a leader. Without a leader, how do you go to the field, and who is going to direct things on the pitch? Because the coach will not be there. Your parents will not be there to coach you from the sideline. The Generation X will not be there to coach you from the sideline. You need a leader on the pitch who is going to score the goals for you. And the next level, the young people, you can't afford to say we have no leadership. There must be leadership. Thirdly, I want to add about recalling the members of parliament. I think the best gift we can give them for laughing at us and making a joke out of us is to send them home. Not in 2027, that is too far away. Send them home now. And we have the numbers. We can send them home like yesterday. The minute they are recalled, they will have, and then elect our own into parliament. Because it's not enough just to send this one home and then bring in another old generation because it's tribe X or because he has money or this. Can we step up and stand for these positions as members of parliament? Young people have done it in the past, like Ababu Namwamba, Mohamed Ali, Kichopevu, this young guy from Kakamega. So it's possible to do it, but we have to step up our game. Fourthly, and I will finish with this, it needs both genders. So it cannot just be about the boys, it also has to be about the girls. Thank you, Kibe.
So, the girls, Fatuma, they come to help where they can, because we don't expect the girls to go on the front line, not in that way that we do demonstrations in Africa. Because at the beginning of these demonstrations, girls were in town. But the police don't care about that. Why? Because you are a lost constituency. And if you don't see yourselves like that, then there's no power. The reason why Rao had so much power is because he could mobilize. The reason why we're seeing Akina Kimuzi and what's that guy's name? Why they had power is because they could mobilize. Now, if they can mobilize, then it is easy to go for them. Because when this guy puts up a space, he has 20, 30K people. So when you go to someone like Osama, how much do you think you need to buy him?
I don't know how much.
I mean, how much? How much?
Maybe 100,000.
100,000?
1 million? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
What
But
is the
your pesa
price
iko.
for your freedom?
Pesa ya kulipa for you to comply iko. So hizi systems mnaenda nazo hazitawaka because mtaokotwa tena due to your own problems and the emotional status of your conversation. So msipotoa emotions hapo, mtaamka asubuhi mwambie at 20 State House na saa hii watu wametuliza. And then
but sahi naona gari za majeshi huko Nyayo nini stadium.
Let us hope that these guys don't listen to us. And everybody goes,
they
go do what they have
and
to do. I'm very impressed with that. I hope they go all the way.
Yeah.
All right, Fatuma, anything else?
No, thanks.
Thank you, Fatuma Abdul Kadir. Who is this? Omukami Weka Bondi. Bondi. What's up?
Akiba, can you hear me?
Coming. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. First, I'd like to appreciate for this space. And then second, I'm like, maybe we call off this space for some time, then we come back later so that we go to town. We join those people that are in town because I'm not yet there. Then secondly, I'd like also to bring this to our notice that how did this all begin? How did the reject the finance bill all begin? I'm convinced that there was someone who put up that slogan. And so if there was someone, still we need someone to direct us on where we need to go, to come up with agendas, but we need someone who can lead us on where we need to go. But first and foremost, please, let's mobilize people to go to town, because when they are paying people, when they can be able to pay people, meaning that we are almost at the very near end, because at first they couldn't pay anyone because they knew we were just a passing cloud, just a passing wind. But right now, it's like it's a cloud that has gathered and it's just about to rain. So I encourage all of us to go to town, like to wear white. If we're not going to parliament, then I'm going then to mourn for Kina Rex and the people that were killed in town. So that is my sentiments. Thank you, Kibe.
One mistake you guys are making is falling into the trap of leaving the internet. The internet is like, you see the way they have the TVs? The way they have TV and they're showing you live scenes. You want people to shut this thing down and then go into town? Why? The people who are here, if you've made up your mind to go to town, why do you need to be told what to do? Hiyo kitu nikasirisha ni aje? Because sasa wewe umekama up na idea utakwambia watu twende town, but bado unataka uingize point yako hapo. Hauoni unatuchezea ufala? Wewe kama unaenda town, nenda town. This is an individual thing. Everybody go for your own selfish needs. If you want better governance, get the fuck out of the house, go to town. But nobody should be telling you that. Because sasa wewe unataka kuwa leader wetu ni? Do you want to be the leader of the people? Now tell them, shut down this space. Didn't Osama say, hey, I thought today we are not having a space. And then what happened a few minutes later? Omukami.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Kibe. My suggestion was that...
Wait. Osama, one of your de facto leaders, he said that we need to close this space because people need to go to town. And yesterday we agreed there are no spaces today. But he has opened his own space. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's a traitor. That has really betrayed us. And we're not even following him right now. Actually, not for him. And whatever he has, it's his own agenda, because he might have been bought. Right now, he's in someone's pocket. And so whatever his sentiments are not really his, but it's just just airing someone else's views. That's not our views as the people that have been in the streets from the very first day. That is not our views. That is someone else's views, but being aired through his mouth and through his space.
Mukami, whether you guys agree to it or not, leadership lazima muichukue. Mupende, musipende. Because sasa mtakuwa mnaokotwa. Whether you kidney or indecni, you must come up with a system to create, to elect some of your own people. That should be the only, not the only, I mean, that is such a strong message. Because you're saying we need to go back to the polls. We need to have our own representation in there. Because you guys in there are not representing us. Simple. Keep it as simple as that. You start asking for too many things. Then, hizo mnataka mtapewa. Because isn't it details? If there's a lawyer in the house, tell me how many more bills pass every day that Kenyans have no idea about. Who is going to find out which bills are those and how are we feeling about them? There must, mupende, musipende. Na sahi mnafaa mko campaign. You should be on campaign mode, all of you, trying to win these people so that when the elections come, you guys are the front runners of this Gen Z movement. Let's move on. Nkada, what do you have to say? Nkada. Eveline, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Okay,
sure. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you, Kibe, for this platform. To be honest, some of us, we are not, we don't work in Kenya. So basically, we can follow live what's happening and everything. And also with the demonstrations, at least tunasaidia where we can in one way or the other, yeah? So basically, this is what I would say. Let's not lose the focus. We lose, like when we lose the fear, they lose the power. So I would suggest we keep the focus on. Yeah, you can hear me?
We lost everybody. Nduta, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, Kibe. Thank you very much for the opportunity, guys. Thank you so much. I'm a Generation X, and I had never thought I would ever see this day today. Seeing how, some of us went through the 82 coup, and we know what that is. We are still traumatized still today. I saw so many people being killed for no apparent reason. When I sit here and I'm watching Citizen live, and I am seeing tankers being put together, surely tankers to go into people who have got nothing, no weapon whatsoever. I don't just understand. And all these children are calling out the truth. It is true what I saw. I've never seen a president who is not corrigible. I've never seen a president who doesn't care. I saw those ministers behind there clapping like they had just, it was just unacceptable. Pride I have never seen. But on the same time, we have to be very careful because these guys, as somebody said here earlier, they're 10 steps ahead and they will provoke you. So you need to be prepared. You need to be smart. What is your plan B? Yes, we get to State House. What else do we do next? What is the plan? There's a bigger picture. And there are things in place and functions that we need to go through and understand them very clearly. That either we go into full-fledged war or what is going to happen. If you can just check, Kibe, I'm sure you have multiple screens. Just check Citizen and what's happening. I don't think these kids deserve this. I don't think so. And I just want to also say apology to those parents who lost their children, and I'm just covering our children today, and I want them to be safe. That's the only thing I pray for is safe. Kisumu is on fire. Migori is on fire. I don't want to see that. You guys are my children, and it just breaks my heart to see exactly what is happening in my country today. That's all, Kibe.
Thank you, Doctor. Quick to the point. I appreciate that. Who is next? Joff, are you still here? I kept Joff here for over an hour. God damn, I think he's already left. Okay, let's go to Korir Elvis.
Thanks, Kibe, for the opportunity. Thanks for hosting this space. Sijui kama mnanisikia poa. Okay. So mi niko Australia. I think what I was born darkest before dawn. And penye tushapitia ama penye tushafika as of yesterday, I don't think this is the time to back off because we need to realize who we're dealing with. Politician at the top, a bunch of very proud and moneyed people when they do it to retain the power they have and retain the influence kama wako na any. But I think tumepass message. They realize that they can't just sit pretty. They really wako na hiyo power ya kuwatoa kwa hiyo ofisi. And if this is not the best opportunity to strike, I don't know if we'll ever get another chance. Because when you just scare CV Ruto with politics, you realize that he's a very smart and conniving politician. Na saizi venye mmeshamuonyesha kwamba okay, tunaweza kufanyia hivi, and then he's gonna come out guns blazing. You heard venye aliongea jana. And it's very despicable, by the way, listening to, that's the president of a country. People have died. People have demonstrated nationwide. Alafu, that's the attitude he's come with. It's very unfortunate. It's undeserving. It's the least we deserve as citizens of Kenya. I think, though, we should blend history yote na a bigger problem that we're facing, which I think we've brought it to the table, which is governance, corruption. You know, like, tukiweza the momentum, and not just Ruto. Okay. MPs with opulence na pesa zetu. Watu kama kina Zahir Janda wa Kisii, what were wash. Oh, Soro, people who they're in actually very influential positions. They're supposed to be our leaders. Like outrightly, you can tell that just misusing our money. Your money. We're speaking ideal and possibly happen in Kenya. And some of us have two governments deliver services to the you're not getting the least you deserve. You're not really getting the least. I've been to like, did this guy even realize that we actually have hands about their attitude? Yani tu wako tu wameinfluensiwa na wako chini. Mimi my opinion, we should not back off. This is the best time to strike. I know we've lost. It should happen. It's part of the why should we lose that? Yet jenye imeonekana hapa ni for Ruto to change his mind, people have to die. For Ruto
Oh yeah, Karuga, Javan, G, are you guys there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
Javan, you can go first.
Go one after another.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kibe, for this space. And first and foremost is to say that the protest led by Gen Z was a success, and it will bring more fruits to this country, because from day one, we have seen how it has progressed from small protest to something that was huge on Tuesday, something that cut across the entire globe. Leaders from all over the world were mesmerized by what was happening. And I think they are part of the reason why President William Ruto has agreed to withdraw the bill for some time and see how to consider the things that were raised by the people on the streets and who had on social media, because to some extent the bill was not so friendly to an already struggling economy. Therefore, seeing President William Ruto withdraw the bill, that was to say that the protest was not in vain. The guys who were injured and lost their lives on the streets, it was not in vain, because at least now we have seen that the pressure, the protest, has beared some fruits. And if President William Ruto, who on Tuesday evening was chest thumping and saying that, he will use all the security apparatus to do whatever he has to do to protect this country, he used some, the speech was not so presidential, it didn't reach the bar of a leader who sympathized with his people. But yesterday, seeing President William Ruto change the tune, that is to say that with more pressure, with more mandamanos, with more protest, there is hope that this country will get a leadership that listens to its people. With more protest, it is clear that this is a language that the political elites understands better, because they have proved to us that with mandamanos, they can listen. They can listen to what Kenyans are saying. They can change. They can align to the interest of Kenyans. And I think going forward, as a country, we have a responsibility to play a bigger role to play in shaping the leadership of this country. We must shape the next leadership of this country, from MCS all the way to the top. We need leaders who listen to us. And I think the most important thing that we need to do is to do away with the current breed of political parties that we have. Going forward, it's high time this country gets political parties that champion for the interests of its people. What we have today are profit-making enterprises, pretending to be political parties. These are the political parties which have brought us the problems that we are having in this country. When you look at ODM party, the UDA party, the Jubilee party, these are profit-making organizations. They don't have the interest of Kenyans. You see, they give the political party certificates to the highest bidders. They sell political party certificates. And that is how we end up having crooks in the parliament, because the party owners give these certificates to the people who will praise them, to people like Kimani Chungwa, who will sing praise to the party leader, people who will hero worship the party leader. They don't care about the interests of Kenyans. Therefore, as going forward, as we progress with this initiative of bringing a better country, we must come up with political parties. It is through political parties that are Wanjiko-centered that will get the right leaders. When you look at ODM, the leaders they have in Luo Nyanza, they know if you have ODM party nomination, wewe umeingia kwa bunge, wewe umeingia kwa the county assembly, umekuwa governor, umekuwa senator. That is why he political parties that we have wananunua. That is why you find in a certain region wanachagua watu from a certain party. Like in the last general election, hapa Mount Kenya region, 90% of the people who are 99% to say walikuwa wasewa UDA party. That is why it is easy for the party leader, the President William Ruto, to tell these people what to do. Wanakuwa micromanaged because they are not independent. They know if it was not for this party, they will not be elected. Ukienda pale on the other side of Azimio, the ODM party, they know if it was not for Raila and ODM, I will not be in the parliament. That is why they will follow everything Raila says. Sahi, they were opposing the finance bill. But let me tell you, point blank, 90% of them, they were not opposed to this bill because it had a problem or because it had an issue. They opposed this bill because Raila was opposed to the bill. If Raila happened to support the bill, 90% of the ODM members of parliament would have supported the bill. That is a crazy parliament that we have. And I think that is one of the area that we need to address as Kenyans going forward. And by addressing the political party issue, we will have addressed the issue of political kingpinship, which has been a problem. Ati mtu wetu, we'll vote huyu kwa sababu ni mtu wetu. These mtu wetu people are the people who own these political parties. Therefore, I think that is where the rain started beating us. But I'm very happy with what I'm seeing on the streets, what I'm seeing on social media, because these maandamanos, these protests, haina tribe, haina mtu wetu figure, haina Raila, haina Baba, haina Ruto, haina Uhuru. These are organic, genuine, authentic maandamanos. And I think going forward, that should be the spirit. As we head to 2027 general elections, that should be the spirit. Nobody who should go to parliament kwa sababu ameingia na chama ya mtu wetu. Nobody should go to parliament kwa sababu ameingia na chama ambayo is popular in our region. Let's start scrutinizing leaders based on what they have to offer. We better have a parliament that is 90% independent candidates, young people who don't have names in that parliament, than have this parliament that is micromanaged by William Ruto, the president, and the opposition leader, Raila Odinga. If we can get that right from MCA level to the top, then we can have people who will listen to us. The problem, the reason why these MPs are not listening to us is because they will listen to the party leader, because they know if it was not for the party ticket that they got from these profit-making enterprises, masquerading as political parties, they would not be in parliament. I think if that is the issue that we need to address, and if we can get it right on the ballot, tuache ukabila, tuache hii maneno mingi, this country will go far. Hii issue ya mtu wetu, Kikuyus have been having president since 1963. They have produced 3 presidents, but they are still struggling. They have not achieved. Let me tell you, hata mtu wenu akiwa pale kwa kiti, we need someone who have issues of this country. But I'm happy that tumefika at a stage where it's no longer about tribe, it's no longer about age, it's no longer about religion, it's about this country. And finally, as we go on with this, the environment that we have in the country, because it's a big good thing that we are having, we also need to address the position of the church in this country. This church we need to address as we do an overhaul, cleanup of the political leadership. We also need to come into terms with the role of religion in the bad leadership that we have in this country. In 2022, these guys were used by the political elites in both political divide, the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza side, to brainwash their followers to do all those manner of things. Therefore, it is high time we clean up the church, the religion, because these people are being used by politicians to intoxicate our minds, to brainwash our minds, so that we can have bad leadership in the country. It is high time the church concentrated on doing their things. And if they're not doing oversight and holding the political elites to account, we should call them out. The church should not go into bed with the executive. Yesterday, I saw them running to State House, congratulating President William Ruto for withdrawing the bill. Where were these people when the protest started? Where were these people? They didn't say anything except some few bishops from the Catholic Church and the ACK Church. These other organizations, I don't know, the NOX, whatever, the Religious Council of Kenya, those guys were seated on the fence. When this country needed them the most, they were lukewarm. Therefore, they should not pretend that when things are starting to take shape, that is when they are pretending to care. Therefore, we must call out the corrupt church, because they are part of the problem we are having in this country. But so far, so good. Let's continue doing what we do. If you're on social media doing activism, keep it on. If you have that calling to go on the streets, go on the streets. But all said and done, we should have one objective: making this country bigger. If we don't have that objective, if we start looking sideways, manze watu watanunuliwa hapa, people will get brown envelopes, and these protests will not bear the expected fruits. Therefore, let's focus building one Kenya, one tribe Kenya, one country Kenya, and one leadership that focuses to developments of its people. Thank you.
Javan calls himself man of God. Thank you, Javan. Nadhat. Karuga, go ahead. Karuga, welcome to Nadhat.
Thank you, Kibe, for the opportunity. And Javan, the man of God, you just said a lot of things I wanted to share. We can have a lot of strategies, but let objective remain to be very specific and very simple, so that we can be able to achieve what we want. And what we want is to deal with the bad leadership. We want good governance. And this is, I think, the prime opportunity for young people to be on the campaign.
Karuga, I muted you by mistake. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, one thing I've been thinking about is some of these reports that we have, especially the Auditor General report. That report cites very specifically where money is being wasted, where fraud is happening in this government, and where we are having abuse of power. No value for money. You can see what is happening in Isiolo. I've kept insisting on that. And I think as young people, if we can identify very simple demands that we want, we be united, we avoid these issues of Mara, others are traitors, others should leave the spaces to go on the streets, others should leave the streets and join the spaces. I think that is what is making them happy, because they are seeing the signs of being divided. Let's get united. No one has to be told where they need to belong, but we all know what is right for us. And we should go out there and do advocacy in the best possible way one can. So let's use all the strategies, just like Javan said, let's use all the strategies available, because I'm very sure this space is live. This space is live in the State House. People are listening to it, and this is where they're getting to know what these young people are thinking about. So let's use every mechanism available, but stay with a very simple and focused objective of changing and fixing this nation. Thank you, Kibe, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Karuga. Let's start to close it up. Nijipange nijue what my game plan is. Nadhad, and then I'll come to you, LC.
Thank you, Kibe. Me, I just want to say this. Hanifa, Kimwizi, and Caleb Cairo, we want to say, fuck you guys. Tunajua umelipwa, and who are you to be speaking to us? I thought you said we don't have any leader. So why are you speaking for us? Let's all stand united and keep pushing the hashtag, Ruto must go. Twende kazi. Thank you.
All right, go ahead. What's your name? Elsie. Then I'll come to you, Vinicel.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for this opportunity and for hosting this space. First of all, as a Kenyan, I really appreciate the movement that we stood for while all this began. And what's making me angry this morning is basically the fact that I feel we are playing the same game these politicians wanted us to have in the first space. And we have forgotten what exactly our agenda was. Number one, I stand corrected. However, I feel we have not yet won the war on reject the finance bill. Because as far as I'm concerned, I am not seeing a parliamentary special sitting to push whatever the president said. What does that mean? This leadership stands very strongly on the constitution if only it favors them. Didn't I hear that the court gave an order against the deployment of the KDF? What are we seeing on our screens and in town? Everywhere, there is the military presence on our streets. Why? Are these the same people who stand to speak and we are going to listen to them after the many lies that they have given us? I totally understand there is, division even on the social media platform, which is quite an unfortunate state because we started by being united by a common goal. I do not advocate that we throw ourselves on the lion's den, like take yourself where you're going to be killed. No. However, I strongly stand to say, can we call our leaders, especially the political class, to be accountable? Number one, can they start accountability on just saying from all the pressers that they have done? Have you had any leader come out to say they are sorry for the people who have died? None of them. The media, I feel it's compromised because up to today, no one has given us concrete reporting in regards to what happened in Githurai, apart from the social media platforms and people who have just taken out to give us whatever exactly happened. None of them. When we stand out and be very strong, what does the government do? It interferes with the internet, and we are okay with that because Baba Shalin woke up and told us, amesikia. There are so many people who've taken to social media to try and educate us Kenyans that whatever Baba Shalin did actually is not in the constitution. This government does not stand strong on the fundamental foundation of this country, which is our constitution. It does not respect the constitution to begin with. I am angry because just like those fallen soldiers we are seeing, it could be any of us. Any of us. And now by the fact that there is fear and there's this whole confusion that has been spewed against the social media, we are forgetting the goal. The voices of these people are going to be in vain if we cower. Can we speak up and stick to the agenda, which I feel should be, let us change this political regime and everything. Like politicians need to know, we are not here. Rigathi students said how MPs speak what their party says. And I appreciate the follower who's just spoken right ahead, akisema we need to hold these people accountable by the fact that they are working for us and not their political parties and their political leaders. They are not for us, and it's up to us to make them feel the music has changed. Be accountable. Right now, you are seeing the government is throwing, blame games against each other. Very heavy statements. When you see Nurdin Haji saying they have a lot of evidence against Rigathi and the fact that he wants to sabotage the president. There's Moses Kuria Wama sijui ni nani said that it's actually Rigathi who championed the committee that introduced taxes on. Like, these people know exactly what they are doing. And if we do not stand strong and solid, our voices are going to be stepped up, because that's what they do. They just know. You don't wake up in the morning and tell us you have a goodwill when our entire streets are flooded by the military. You are already telling us you're declaring war where there is no war. So if I were to go to the street and just be peaceful and say I want accountability, I am literally, maybe might just be shot down for me speaking, even without starting any war of any kind. So the government is practically throwing it on our faces. They are ready for war. Which war are they declaring with the entire KDF on our streets? Yet the Constitution has said they are not supposed to be there because there is a court order to that. And we are here sitting and saying we have won, they have withdrawn. Please tell me, have you not seen that according to our Constitution, that which is something we should stand for, the president cannot do that? Enlighten me, is there any parliamentary special sitting happening right now? How long did it take them to have a special sitting or have the parliament sit to pass the supposed KDF deployment? 30 minutes. Where is that parliamentary sitting right now to proceed with what the president said? Is it enough that these people sit and say people have died, families have lost their people, so they are going to weaver, the mortuary fees and pay for their need? For what? That is not enough. As a government, if at all they care for us, if at all they have heard us, the first thing they should have done was come out and say they are sorry. I have not had any person in the authority stand up to say they are sorry. None of them. Today I listened to Citizen, and there's this priest who is coming out to say the massacre that happened, or the shocking events of what happened on Tuesday at the Holy Basilica, where they are begging people not to shoot people in a church, yet they went ahead and still did it. And they're just coming flaring words here and there, here and there. And then what is happening to us? We are thrown in a dam of confusion. These people are speaking this, everyone is speaking this. What do you think they are doing? Clapping and cheering. The same way they did when the president spoke. Because they knew whatever the president is saying, unless they follow through, it will not happen. Why is it not happening? And why are we still coming down to say we have won? We have not won as far as I'm concerned. And even if they do the withdrawing, we have a long period where we are changing the political class to know they need to be accountable. They actually need to be accountable. They actually need to fear the people because we placed them there. Salasia throws a video asking the president, you are busy saying you have paid 3 billion to the Eurobond. How are you paying a bond that didn't arrive in this country? And the people who are in office when the Eurobond happened are actually holding positions in the current government, the governor, and he calls them out. What does that say? Are we going to be okay just because there is a statement that was placed out there with Baba Shalin, and now we are okay with it, saying that we have won? We have not won. I thank God for the fact that I am alive today to witness this. But we cannot cower. And I am not saying let's go and throw ourselves in the line of being shot and everything. I want us to be wise, and I encourage us, let us be wise. Let us not lose our voices. With the pressure, and let the entire world know through our, such spaces, going for the peaceful demonstrations, whatever. The world will know when we call out them and ask them, isn't this government still in power when fake fertilizer was out there? What did they do? What did they do? Those are the pertinent questions we should be asking ourselves and asking the government. It's not all about the pressure will make these people resign, because they see. So this confusion that I'm seeing we're already having, it's breaking my heart. It's choking me up, because why are we allowing ourselves to be sold out? Why? Or why are we allowing ourselves to cower? Let them first show us the goodwill by them starting to respect the constitution of this country. And then through our voices, can they stand up and come be accountable? Let us not have leaders represent us. In fact, I say, if Baba Shalin wants to talk to us, can he come to the street? Let him put a public address and we will be there to answer the questions. Why do you want to see people go to you to the State House? Why? Come to the streets. All these MPs who are busy, they are busy being congratulated for voting or standing by what their party said, are busy flaunting on social media and using vulgar language on us because you have bought cars. Someone like that, Alice, I've seen a tweet or someone posting on Instagram busy saying, amekula ya kutosha, and he's no longer interested in the seat, because they know they are going home. But before they go home, they have had an opportunity to serve this country. What have they done? They should be held accountable. They should be held accountable. That is my agenda. That is what I'm speaking for. And for the goodwill of the government, can they come out first and apologize to us? Secondly, can they follow this constitution? Not just quote it just because it favors them. This bill, if there is no parliamentary sitting on it, it's simply going to pass after 14 days, according to the constitution. How do we sit back and say we have won? What are we saying upon the blood of our fellow people which have been shed on the ground? The families which are burying their loved ones, yet MPs are simply clapping. No one is apologetic, no one is even remorseful. All they are just using is a language to show us pure politics. That's a bunch of bullshit, I'm sorry to say so. But please, guys, please, 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 can we not lose our voice? Let's not accept to be divided and be confused and be scared. Hii sauti yetu ndio iko kila mali. If you're keen, everyone across the world is simply cheering us on. Cheering us on, cheering us on. And right now, what are we doing? We are scared. Some of us are here are bought. Some of us are doing what? Can we be wise? And let's keep up the space. Ni sauti yetu tu tuko nayo. These people will bow. With our voices, they will bow. And they will know it is not routine as usual. Thank you very much, Andrew.
That was Elsie. Thank you, Elsie. Let's hear from a dude now. Vinicel, is you a dude? Vinicel, are you there? All right, if Vinicel is my timing. Kijana Mtumba, what's up?
Hey, Andrew. Can you hear me?
Can anyone hear me?
Vinicel, just wait 1 second.
Okay, so Andrew, I have a simple thing to say. I want to point out those guys who went out to the DCI, wakajipeleka kwa DCI, then they had the audacity to come, like they are our leaders. Those are the guys who have been paid. I want to first say, fuck you, Karif Cairo, fuck you, Anifa, fuck you, Boniface Mwangi. You are not our leaders. We are in town, and we are waiting for you all guys. Don't relent. Kama tuta step back, it means those who have been killed in Kidurai, in town, in parliament, they did it in vain. Guys, come out. This is the last step, I guess. And our voice must be heard. Ruto must go. Tunafaa tusafishe hiyo movement tena.
Yes.
All right, let's go to
I'm here.
Kabinji.
Kibe.
Who's opening?
Kibe will be right back. Someone else continue talking.
Kibe?
He's coming right back. Can someone else continue talking? I think he's resetting the connection.
So I've been reading a tweet here, and I think this is the most sensible thing I've had in the whole year. Somebody is saying killing a 23-year-old graduate to protect a 60-year-old corrupt politician with bad diabetes and high blood pressure is the ultimate waste of our resources. And the fact that we are relenting to go for Maandamano today, it shows that we have bought scared. Because explain to me, how does Ruto come and say it's only 6 people who are killed? Why is Caliph Cairo and Kimuzi and the like saying that we should give room for dialogue? Who is going for those dialogue? Who is going to speak? Who is going to sit there and speak with the devil? We should not relent. These are the same people. You'll see them chest dumping, and you can mark my words. Very soon you'll hear them chest dumping here, saying that we were trying to overthrow the government. In less than a month, you'll still see Sudi walking around in bags full of money, because we are relenting. And the best thing we can do, let us go out there and let us tell them it is no longer about the finance bill. It is about you, your behaviors, and what you are doing. Because you cannot sit here and watch people walking in 40 mic cars, people who were makangas the other day, and graduates are being shot at. What kind of country are we raising? It is our duty to ourselves and to Generation Alpha, the ones that are coming. Let us try. We would rather fail trying than stay here like foolish people. And anyone who sees Cairo, tell the man to go to hell for all we care. Thank you.
Mwenda Kirinji, are you there? Na wanaume wamediscover mademu wanaletwa juu haraka, wanaanza kuchange profile. Hii ukora lazima ishe. Huwezi kuwa wewe ni mkora, you're a thief in the office, you're a thief everywhere, you lie, and then you want to come and talk about reforms or a revolution. A revolution cannot have liars. If you guys are going for a revolution, you cannot lie even 1 second, because once you feed the wrong information into that system. Mwenda.
Yes, Kibes.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I'm so disappointed. And to start with, let me say, fuck you, Cairo. Fuck you, Boniface Mwangi, and fuck you, the other lady, the lady from Somali. I have only one thing to say. Guys, if at all we relent and you give William Ruto another chance to re-strategize, no one is safe. So the best thing we can do, the end is near, we should not relent or think about giving up at any particular point. We should make sure that what we started, we bring it to the ultimate end. That's what I have to say, Kibe.
All right, thank you, Mwenda. Let me see what this guy is putting the thumbs down before I give it to our resident Sudanese.
South Sudan is still fighting.
And that fighting started just like this, right? Because once one person has been paid, then how can you trust anybody? Because now if you put a tweet and somebody comes in and says, but you, Kibe, you've been paid. It doesn't matter what else I have. It doesn't matter the resources. It doesn't matter anything. You've just fucked up because now you're killing your own soldier. Unwarranted. Your soldier has not said he's not with you. But you guys are out there just killing people. Because that's what you're on killing mode. So we must get you from killing mode to a killing mode. Because killing mode, you're like those, there were some bugs that were brought to Lake Victoria. And those bugs were supposed to eat the hyacinth. And once they were done with the hyacinth, they had been programmed to eat themselves. Sound familiar, Kingsman?
Yes, Kibe, hi, how are you?
Kibe, can you hear me?
Perfectly, go ahead.
Guys, we are losing the plot here. We are losing the plot. Sai, I'm seeing on the TV, Boniface Mwangi anapigwa because of such kind of talks that we are having here. Unless you are affirmative that ukona ile like inaitwa nini, like you have evidence beyond reasonable doubt, ndio mnaanza kukolo wase hapa wamesha kwa sellouts. I think when we are doing this now, the conversation has moved from fuck Ruto, it is fuck Cairo. Who is Cairo in all lessons? When in the grand scheme of things, we are talking about a country here. The moment tunaanza kujieka Cairo, sijui kina nani, kina Osama Otero, we are talking about 57 million Kenyans, guys. Let's not lose the plot. The enemy is one. The enemy are the member of parliament being led by Ruto. So the moment mnaanza hii story, Cairo, nani, we are reducing the conversation into individuals when we are talking about 57 fucking million Kenyans. Kibe, yesterday I spoke on your space, and there are quite key number of things that I highlighted. I think let's stay focused. As Kibe has said that we need a leader. For me, we need to really be careful with the people that you see the way in a company when you're doing hiring, you do KYC. You even do KYC on your customers, you do KYC on your financials, you do KYC on the people that you're employing. First, let's get to know each other. That is true. We start by following each other as much as we can. When we follow each other, we protect each other. Second is like we should now start, these things should be organic. They should come from merit. For example, if you ask me, someone like Sifuna has already proved himself beyond reasonable doubt that this guy is selfless. He spoke truth to power. So how many Sifunas do we have to lead 57 million of us? Who amongst us will stand and ask Ruto the right questions? I don't know. That is just a question I'm posing to you. And then my other second sentiment is on these people that were laughing behind the president yesterday. The 212 for Rona, they are 215 or whatever, the number, the MPs. These people are the problem. One just lives near here. He's an MP for Kikuyu. The people that elected these people are the problem to start with. There's something that was, I don't know, Kibe, if you can get it. There was that thing that had been put on how you can recall your MPs. I think that should be our next conversation. We should recall all these 212 for all of them. Let's start even a conversation of the audit report. We look at it. What was the outcome? Why was this money misappropriated? Those people should go to jail. We come and look at things like we look into the expenditure, because that is where our biggest problem is. You see already this guy, who is it? Blinken or something, he has already given a statement and congratulating the president. You know, Americans will never, ever, ever, ever be for you. There is no single development that has been done in Kenya, and you can come and say that this has been done by the Americans. So at all times, they will never, ever have... Actually, what they are doing is building a military camp in Lamu. That is what they are doing. So there is no single day an America will come and want to build your own country. They are so selfish. And that is also what we should be. We should be selfish with our own country. But let's not lose the plot and start like tuko kila mahali, mara sijui hashtag Ruto must go. For me, I think that is it's like we are biting ourselves. It's like you're stealing from one hand, like the left hand, and then giving the right. The conversation should be, how did we get here? How do we elect these MPs? Why do we have CDF? Because CDF is the bribe to the MPs, and CDF is So these are the kind of conversations that we should have. Let's go to town. Let's have conversations towards ensuring that this conversation, the finance bill, doesn't get lost, and we also don't get out of we don't lose focus.
Kibe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. Yeah, Kingsman. Thank you, my man.
Yes, Kibe.
Oh, Atani Sakutoa. Victor, go ahead. Okay, Santino, just wait.
Hello, am I clear? Hello, am I clear, Kibe? Am I clear? Are you getting me?
We're getting you, man. We're getting you. We gave you emoji. We're getting you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I am Victor Kuloba. I'm in Bungoma currently, and I'm very disappointed by this not a young man. It's a very old man called John, the MP of Kandui, who voted yes. The projects that this guy has initiated here, they are very shambolic. They're despicable. We cannot be a developing country and we have very selfish people that they themselves, they are the contractors, they are the engineers, we have no hope. When we have these leaders in our society, we just have no hope at all. So what I ask everyone here, we should be united in this cause. There should be no division as we are witnessing right now. We should be united, not as Gen Z, but as a nation. There's no way a nation built on tribalism, on ethnic groups. There's no way we can have hope that government will change us as a nation and reference us to countries like Singapore and the likes. Number two, for us, there's no way we can trust someone who is a serial liar. This guy has lied to us since 2013, since the 1990s. When the guy was a minister, I don't know, finance minister or something. There's no way we can trust this person for the next 10 or so years. There's no way. We just have to stand as one, and we have just to strategize. We must strategize, and I don't know how long it will take us to strategize, but we just have to strategize. And we are a technology-wise country, and as a technology-wise country and as a technology-wise generation, we have to improvise ways that we can make this government that is formed on tribalism, formed on ethnic divisions, we have to make it dysfunctional, and we have to build a nation that we can trust, a nation that someone who is graduating today has hopes that in the next few months or in a year atakuwa anapata job, na at least wazazi wetu kwanza wametukosea. These are the people wame witness the Moi era, wame witness the Kibaki era, and wameona the killings, and wanataka to relent, wanatuambia tuogope serikali sijui. And another thing, our parents wanatuambianga ati sijui unafaa ujifunze sijui kilugha, something to do with connections. We should be a nation, hakuna mambo na vitu kama connections ati sijui you have to be connected to someone to get a job. Like in my field, civil engineering, I'm very disappointed, guys. I'm very disappointed. Let's be united. Let's be one. Thank you.
ama idara za security kuweza kuactivate ama kuweza kutoa sheria ambayo kwa sababu
Asante Victor. Judy Sparta, be the second last person on this wonderful moment. Judy Sparta, are you there? All right, as we wait for Judy Sparta, K. Santino.
Yes, I want.
Man from South Sudan. Yes,
I'll quickly jump in. You know, I wanted to say I've been observing what's going on for the several days, and we even had some people there. If you look at history about Ruto, how he was taken by the ICC for those atrocities he did a long time ago, and for first and foremost, you have to remember ICC usually goes after presidents, but Ruto went to the ICC thing, and he basically beat them by taking out all the witnesses, and then he did a bigger middle finger to them by becoming president. So basically, you can know that Ruto plays to win. And I've been hearing from a lot of the arguments. I've been hearing two fundamental arguments that have been said between what's going on about the bill and everything. I just want to really say, first, I want to applaud all the Kenyans and the citizens who protested, as well as I want to mention that it's impressive how a lot of people are very well versed on the Constitution, because most of the time people will be going, but everyone knows the laws. And I saw there's a lot of lawyers, a lot of journalists, everyone's fully in this, which is really, I think, what changed the game. And what you have to also point out, the fact that Ruto had the opportunity to just sign the bill and let it get done, but the fact he took a couple steps back, that in itself shows that he was scared. He noticed what was at stake. So I want to quickly say also, in essence, the two key arguments they're talking about is that the bill that he deferred the bill back to the parliament because the parliament's going to do it, but the fact that the parliament has taken 14-day recess is more evidence that he's playing another game, because I've been looking at it. I think Ruto now has become the best actor, entertainer, because think about it, he's been crying in the churches. Everything he's done is all a show, and he always has an agenda. Because right now I'm wondering, maybe, who knows, in reality he might even be an atheist. Who knows? I'm very it's very confusing what's happening, but because I think the way he's played the game, he's underestimated the intelligence of many Kenyans. Many Kenyans can see what he's doing, and they're even talking, like, also the bill. Let's say the bill was for 8-9 months. We're going to pay the bill. We're going to pay this for 8-9 months, and then we're going to go back to normal. Nope. There's no details, no specificity. Basically, it's going to go on forever, and who knows, that might be a stepping stone to a more corrupt way he can become a full dictator. That's what I can say. But I think what everyone's doing is the right way to go. And I think for those who are saying that, the bill is no longer in session, I think the fact that the parliamentarians have taken a 14-day recess is not a coincidence. I think this is a very well thought out strategic plan. So he doesn't get a blame politically. He wants to act like he wants to be a Kagame. Kagame is a dictator. Kagame is a dictator, but he looks like a saint in the public. I think he's doing a lot of shit behind the scenes and trying to make everyone see him in a different eye. That's what I want to say. That's my submission.
Thank you, K. Santino. For you guys who don't know, K. Santino studied in USIU, so he knows a lot about Kenya. And his opinion is as valid as any other opinion. Do not chase anyone away who wants to join the fight. It doesn't matter which country they come from. Bro, when it was Nelson Mandela, the whole world came together to end apartheid. The whole world put so much pressure that apartheid had to end. Now, bring it back home. In 2007, when Kibaki did what he did, Rao was so shafted, but they had to sit down and create. And this is where you guys have to be you must listen. They had to sit down because of the pressure. Because Rao alikuwa akisema ngwe, everybody jumps into town. So you guys are assassinating your leaders. So there's no leader who can say ngwe. But when he said ngwe, these guys made him a prime minister. He got the office, the first, probably the last office of the prime minister. You guys have no clue which position you're in. You better wake up before you kill this revolution at its infancy. Kadomi, what do you want to say? Thank you, Kezantino.
Thank you so much, Kibe, for this space. I love what you guys are doing, the online war, let it keep burning. There's just one thing I needed clarification. Juicy, when the members of parliament were called hurriedly, is it yesterday or the day before, to come and call the KDF to the streets. They came in a record, like by 9:30 the members of parliament were in parliament because the government needed to be able to bring KDF to the demonstrators. My question is, if the president did that press briefing yesterday, which really didn't look like him, and he withdrew the bill and he attached a memorandum, how comes today morning he has not recalled, he has not called the members of parliament to come and officially withdraw this bill? I don't know. I'm not trusting this guy, because the parliament is on recess until July, is it 22nd, 23rd? I don't know. If you have a lawyer on the forum, I'm reading a lot of mischief, because this thing might just fall into law, as it is, because then there's no goodwill. We are not seeing, there's a lot of words, but you're not seeing a lot of actions. That's one thing. Second thing I would want to talk about, other bills that no one is talking about, bills that were passed into law. We have the agriculture bill that was passed into law that criminalizes any act of agriculture by any Kenyan who does not have a diploma or a degree in agriculture. Someone needs to check. There's such a law in place right now. We Africans, we are all farmers. We are born farmers. You could be so learned, but you plant something, a tree, a vegetable, a kitchen garden. There's a law criminalizing agricultural activities in Kenya right now. That's something we need to look into. All what this guy is doing is a puppet of the globalists. The ambassador, the American ambassador, is his handler. Every bill that has passed in parliament, everything that has happened in the last 2 years when he's president, is all a foreign agenda. He came into power, and the first thing he did is allowing GMO in Kenya. Immediately, he allowed LGBTQ presence in Kenya, or sort of legally. Every bill that has been passed in parliament, we need lawyers to go check. They are all bills, foreign bills, not for the interest of Kenyans. I don't know if we are there yet, but I think we have a bit of a victory right now. But I think if we relent hata kidogo, tutaumia, because this guy is going to go and arrest all the influencers. They are going to arrest people. They are going to take out people one by one. That's what they did with the ICC case. What I would love to tell Kenyans, do not relent. Our hashtag was the Finance Bill 2024, Reject Finance Bill 2024. We are not 100% there yet. Please, people, don't celebrate yet, because we have sort of something looking like a victory, but it's not yet a victory. Parliament has not been recalled. That's one thing. And after we win that battle, we need to put more pressure and more pressure and more pressure. Because if you ask me what the Minister of Agriculture, Linturi, did with fake fertilizer, mawe na nini, that is tantamount to treason. But that guy is working scot-free because they can buy everyone. Food security in a country is supposed to be treated as such an important thing. I hope guys know that our seeds, it's now criminal to share seeds amongst ourselves as farmers. It's a criminal offense, because everything being pushed in parliament is a globalist Bill Gates agenda. You need to know right now that you need to pay tax for your cow even 2 cows or goats in your compound, they need to be registered and taxes need to be paid for these animals. I don't know if guys knows what is happening. I'm happy that the finance bill is bringing this hit, but guys, just below the finance bill, there is so much happening, guys. Let's not sleep. Influencers on X, let's keep doing this. Let's not relent. Even after we win the finance bill, let's dig out all the bills that have been passed that are against the people of Kenya. Let's talk about the corruption. Let's talk about the inefficiency that is happening in this country. Let's talk about this what is this? The finance budget that is not making any sense. The renovations in all state houses in the country, the illegal offices, the first lady's offices, which are illegal, Mudavadi's office, which is illegal, the 50 these caste people who are still drawing a salary. Let's keep talking about these things, guys, because this is a fight we've begun. And let me tell you, as I wind up, I don't know how much time I have. We are not going to get any help from ICC. We are not going to get any help from the international community. This has to be a fight from within. You must know that most of our problems are actually foreign problems. This president, we call... Okay. I think that's my time to go off. Thank you for this space. I'll get another time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kadomi. Ahmed, are you there?
Yes, Kibe, I'm there. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. My message is only one, and it's to all Kenyans. Hii shughuli tumeanza and hatulegezi kamba. This is the only time we have. Hii conversation ikiisha imededi hivyo. Let's be strong. Let's be there for ourselves. Na hii maneno ya kuongelea mtu mwingine tuache. We don't have leaders. We are talking to each other through these spaces, organizing everything. The only agenda I have for you, for us, for this generation is, now that we occupy the parliament, yes, that is tick. The other one of today, we said, tumelegeza kamba, tukasema, nusu wamesema tuende, tukasema tusiende. Now the question is, si tuende kwa ofisi ya IG, tuende kwa ofisi ya CS wa Interior, tuende kwa ofisi ya EACC, so that we have strategized to let us camp in one office after the other, so that all these people resign from those offices. After that, we strategize, what do we need to do? Ile kitu tunataka ni hii wastage ambaye mzee jana amesema anataka kutoa wapi na wapi na wapi. Yani, we just want a conversation where what is the next step. Lakini saa hii ile mahali tumefika, tumewekwa kwa mataa, hatuna kitu yote, because nakumbuka wakati wa Raila na akina Story na Wetangula sijui na Mudavadi, hii ndo walileta sijui mtu mmoja amekula pesa mwingine. Those are the kind of politics people use to divide us. Hawa watu sasa wako hapa kwa hii space wamejaa, sijui staff za State House, sijui wote wako hapa kwa hii space, lakini muhimu ni tukiongea kuhusu sijui huyu amefanya hivi, huyu amekula. Ule mtu anataka kukula akule, ule anataka kuja akuje, lakini the most important thing is we have no leaders. Wacha tuendelee na hii shughuli, lakini ile siku tutalekeza kamba. Wacha niwaambie sasa hii, there are people still missing. Why are they missing? Up to now, ule kijana jina yake nimesahau, mpaka sasa hajulikani mahali yako. How many people are missing? Jamaa amekuja jana amesema watu 6 peke yake ndio wamekufa. Hakuna CS wa health ameenda kwa hospitali aseme nani amekufa, nani ako kwa hospitali. Hakuna a public officer ameenda kwa hospitali kuangalia watu wetu. Hakuna mtu amekuja akasema nani ako na shida. President ameongea na ile kitu inaniudhi sana jana ni jamaa ameuliza story ya development, wamecheka wote. Wanacheka kwa nini? Hii bill ni only 200 billion ndio inakuja ku raise. The question is, we have 22 ministries. Kila ministry ikikata bilioni 5, just 5 billion for every ministry. That is the 200 billion they were looking for. Still the development must continue, because ile kitu iko ni the wastage. Umeenda safari moja ukarudi 200 million imeenda hivyo. Safari 5 ni bilioni 1. Hiyo bilioni 1 inajenga hospitali ngapi? Hizo swali tunataka kujiuliza. Comrades, let's focus. Please, ile kitu naomba ni tusilekeze kamba. Hii conversation hakuna siku nyingine itarudi. Well, unaunda space, angalia Kibe. Let's say today we used to have such kind of spaces, lakini watu hawako wanaingia sana. Lakini saa hii just the power of social media, unaunda space within 1 seconds, watu 20k, 30k, 50k wanaingia because the conversation is on now. Lakini tukilekeza kamba hiyo, tumeshapoteza network. Ile kitu nawaomba ni let's not divide ourselves. Ule mtu amepewa milioni 5 au milioni 10 amekula, wacha yeye akule. Sisi hatuna, that's not our problem. Our problem is we are focused. We have agenda. What are our agenda? We wanted to occupy the parliament. Tick. We have occupied the parliament. We have chased away those MPs. We have done our part. Now they are scared. Even they can't go to the constituencies. Simu zao wamezima. Next ni IG ya police. Tukae kwa ofisi yake hapa Jogo House baka ashuke aseme ameresign. Tuende next kwa interior baka resign. Tuende kwa ECC. Hawa watu tuwafukuze ofisi because ECC they angalia kwa hii bill 5 billion ndio umetengenezewa ECC. They don't have 1,000 staff. Why will we give them 5 billion? 5 billion for what? What have they done? Wameenda kwa ule jamaa wa governor wa Obado juzi wamesema sijui ameiba 2 billion. Amerudisha 50 million sijui nini wakawa. The question ile kitu mimi najiuliza Kibe ni please leta wale watu ambao wako chini wanasikia wanauzi sana, wanasikia the listeners ambao wako chini, beba wao juu tusikie kila mtu na uchungu yake. My message please, let's not divide. Mimi hata sina haja, hata ndugu yangu sasa kula hiyo pesa sina. I don't care about mtu amekula pesa because ile hawa watu wanavaa saa ya milioni 1 alafu tunaongea kuhusu mtu amelipa milioni 5 sijui nini. Those are none of our business. Please. The conversation is on. Angalia kama last night tulikuwa 50-50 bila kuorganize, bila kutumania mtu fair. Watu wamejaa kwa street. Why? They don't care about it. Watu hawana chakula ya kukula, watu hawana kazi ya kwenda. People are just, watu wanapiga mguu ile ukuja tano demonstrate. This is the right moment. Let's have the conversation. What do we need to do? EACC mko na shughuli gani? Kama hauna, if you don't have a plan, go. We go to the other one. What do you have? If you don't have nothing, go. Ule mtu ameua watu ashuke. Huyo IG kwanza aende nyumbani. Huyo professor sijui Kidiki aende nyumbani. Sijui huyo ambaye ameleta street watu anaitwa sijui Duale aende nyumbani. Ule mtu ambaye ame organize bunge sijui aende nyumbani. Let's have one by one how watu to office. After that the snake ambaye kwa kichwa ni nani? Huyo jamaa ambaye yuko kwa hiyo mlima. Huyo jamaa kwa mlima time yake is numbered. Hatuna haja na yeye. But his time will come. Lakini sahi hawa vijana ambao wako chini yake sijui Kidiri Kundiki anaitwa nani? Ichungwa ambaye alikuwa anacheka jana wakati tumeongea kuhusu hizo vitu. Please, mnaomba Kibe, hawa watu uende nyumbani wote. Let's have a strategy. Tuesday next week tunaenda kwa IG Kome, ofisi yake tunakaa baka ashuke. Next ni interior. Next ni nani? Baka hawa watu wote waende nyumbani ambao wamefanya hii kitu. Because it's not making sense. Watu wameuliwa, president anasema watu 6 wameuliwa. Wale watu 6 ni nani? One life umeua. One is equal to, what are you talking at only 6? Only 6 is, na hii kitu mnatusema sijui anaitwa nani, anaitwa sijui Kajago ameongea kuhusu Msomali sijui hizo vitu is nonsense for now. Nonsense. Mimi mshahara yangu hailipwi anaitwa nani? Duale ile pesa analipwa mshahara yake ni yake binafsi, si yangu, si ya mtu mwingine, ni yake na familia yake. Usituletee hizo story. Let's be focused guys. Hii maneno yote ya ukabila ile kitu umetujunite. Borana ako hapo, Msomali ako hapo, Mkikuyu ako hapo, Muhindi ako hapo, Mkenya yote ako kwa hiyo street. So please, let's focus. Hii maneno mengine ya ukabila, tribalist, we are tribalists, tuko kwa hiyo barabara. Kibe sahi wewe, mimi sikujui na wewe unijui. Umenipatia nafasi nimeongea. Mimi nimeshukuru sana. That is my message. Please, watu ambao wako chini, leta hao juu tusikie kila mtu maoni yake. Thank you so much for this conversation.
All right, thank you, Ahmed. And let's have the last 2 people saying something. So we have Kolo, go ahead, and then Rastan, you can close it up for us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Shalom. Let me just begin with that and say, ultimately, we thank God for peace that we've enjoyed for so long. I could say through our generation, but my last tweet this morning, after just looking at everything going on, I was just lost for words, man. I don't know what to say, but I'll say this. The system was flawed from inception. To protect one man and serve political issues is a colonial altar that unfortunately lost over 2,000 years ago. One man paid that price, and it was paid once for humanity. Hence, anyone who is only fixated on power at the cost of another's life is the Antichrist. There's a global family, and I say the purpose of Kenya, it's known, it's a well-known fact that the purpose of this nation is to be a springboard of revival. Anyone's role and responsibility in this nation is to be a hope nation, and the stakeholders are the global family. There's only one thing we need to deliver, and this one is especially to our commander-in-chief. Hakuna Mkenya ni msafi, hakuna mzee ati anaweza sema ati God alitupatia dingo, tuko na dingo. Jusi wote ni madingo. Kanairo imetufundisha kuwa madingo. Ini family inaendelea, family iko under attack. Na hizi altars zenye tunadeal nazo, tunadeal na kitu inaitwa reformation. Hiyo ndo deliverable tunafaa kudeliver. Objective ni moja, tuna reject hiyo financial bill 2024, na case ni hii. Nimewashow kitu ni Antichrist, na siongei religion tu. I respect religion as a sphere of influence, one amongst 7 other spheres, but this one is a case that the kingdom of this God that created 54 million people is suffering violence, and that scripture says only the violent shall take it by force. Hii violence yetu ni KFC, hizo corporations zote, awase wote, the global family. By that I mean hata US involved. US ina need kuheal a lot. A lot of healing is needed in the US, but that's their issue. Kenya is a sovereign state, and the families are going through a lot just because a decision has to be made by one person. Na hii sasa nazungumza kwa rais. Hii si address anyone else apart from rais wangu. Naambia rais wangu alishaika chini kwa position ya ofisi fulani inaitwa evangelist. Mimi wasi wengi wamejulikana, wasome kwa kisikia juu ya testimony zangu, but this is not about me. I'm talking about the position he sat at as an evangelist. William Solei Ruto, please remember that you occupied a seat of an evangelist, which is supposed to represent an army and a general. This is not about selfishness, but let's train people's selflessness. Humility flows from the top. If this God that we worship came down to this earth in the form of a man, yendo alishuka. Generations need to embrace the same spirit of being able to listen to the next generation. When you talk of dialogue, you can't be saying one thing and then this other side, I make sense. Hii message kureach na i-apply kwa mwanamume wowote. Kama uko kwa army, kama uko wapi, you have a brain. Use it. This June is supposed to be celebrating mental health for men. Raha tupate na ustawi. Could it be that plenty be found within our borders is because we are unwell? Come on. The next generation is so advanced. We're raising them, and we have to be accountable the same way that they are. Mulembe Nation means peace. OC, Old Cambrian Musalia Mudavadi, and the nation of, especially guys from that, we have 43 tribes to celebrate. Negative ethnicity cannot work here. My daughter, and I thank God for her and her classmates in the school where she studies, the fathers are confused because they don't know even what to say. This is not a joke. This is about the kingdom of God. And Christ is ultimate. Thank you.
Rastan, you want to close it up for us? And said we'll close it at 1. Thank you, Kolo.
Good afternoon, you guys. You know, it has been last week has been a busy week. This week and Tuesday we did it, and we are not going to stop. So there are some people who have talked a lot of sense from the time I've been there. There's our sister there saying that's the truth. What I saw is Kibe. What I saw is what is happening to Kenya is like Ruto went to get a program from Biden. He was sitting down with Biden and Hunter Biden, who is a crackhead. Okay, internationally we know him. So could I trust this guy going there? Okay, leave that alone. If you look at where Ruto came, our sister said GMO, LGBT. You know, you guys, the digital ID. That shit, we are rejecting it. We are rejecting it universally. So introducing it in Kenya, that makes me come to the streets. The main thing, Kibe, I have been this, and I'm not in Kenya, is because I cannot have a normal conversation with my parents. I'm 46 years old, and whenever I go to talk with my parents, like my father has become a politician himself, because not that there is no money, but he's complaining a lot about everything in the government, you know, all the time. My mother too, we cannot have a conversation over 15 minutes without complaining about money, and there is money. But she's complaining there is something which is not going okay in their system. They cannot give me love as their child, okay? So, we are not stopping. I don't think it's time to stop. No. Like how our brother have said, everybody who knows is not rightful in the office to nawashukisha wote. There will not be a tribe again in Kenya. I said in 2007, I was active. I said it, and Ruto won. Ruto won it. You guys, these guys were coming here to Hague, where I live. So you know the pressure I had against these guys. You know what I wanted, the truth, as a freedom fighter. So there will be no tribe again. Those are our things again now. We must be like that. We'll never be divided by these people. Our government is for us all, okay? So, tukiendelea mbele, wale watu wote wameuliwa, I'm very sorry for that. Na tunafaa yani tushughulike na hiyo shughuli sana, you guys. That's where nobody else can ever be shot. Nobody. Hakuna mtu mwingine anaweza kushutiwa tena in Kenya. Demonstration, ama protest, ama anything. So those are the things which we must first of all make sure when moving on. We have some things to do when moving on. Not all of us can participate in that, but if you can, everybody got his part. Kila mtu akona part yake. And we are in. Simu tunapiga, tunasalimia wase, tunauliza ni aje, mtoto wangu wako hapo. My child is there in the streets. Nikiwa mahali niko. Mtoto wangu hawezi enda tao na mabeshte wake na hana 20k. Na niko hapa, kwani nafanyanga nini? What the fuck? So that's the fire we have. Okay? So it's not only for the people in Kenya or what. We are all together. There is no tribe here. So you guys, I wish you a good evening. Mungo Moja. Don't stop to this. All of us, we have fire, you know. All of us, we can express our fire in very different styles. Me, first of all, I'm going in a kickboxing lesson so that I reduce the fire a little bit. Because you can hear, I'm burning. So you guys, have a good afternoon. Thanks, Kibe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rastan. Appreciate that. I will give you a minute of what I think. And you guys this is your revolution. You must take ownership. You must take ownership. This is for you guys. Take it where you want to take it. But in Yenyu, you must take ownership. Make sure that you come together, organize yourself in a way that makes sense. Because right now, if you don't make sense, they'll just be taking one from you. Mtu akianza kuongea sana, unamchukua. Wanamwambia, hey, kuja hapa, acha tukuangushe kakitu. So hiyo lazima mtoke. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of anything. Don't be afraid, because as long as you're afraid, that is what they use against you. It's like a bully, dealing with a bully. Ukishaingiza njeve na unamuingiza njeve, au mzana kuokota. Simple as that. It doesn't matter what the game plan is today. Ukiingiza njeve, and then it stops you from doing what it is that you said you were going to do, you're a fool. That's all I'm saying. Right now, the world is watching us, and they're watching us not from the eyes of KTN, Citizen, or whatever. They're watching us here on social media. Something none of these guys have a clue about. I was in my old school. And the command walishkuwa unawares hata NIS. because in my own school, you are the lost constituency. Make that work for you. You are the lost constituency, the one they assumed. They laughed at you when they said you're eating KFC, when taking Ubers, because they don't see you as serious. Even yesterday, when they were giving you this small token of appreciation by telling you, oh, I've rejected, I've conceded. That was bullshit. So mukienda na hiyo njia mtaokotwa, because hawa sasa wameishi kwa hiyo njia. Ruto amekaa kwa hiyo kiti 30 years. Experience 30 years, Mungu wangu, utaweza nayo unless uende by force by fire. By force by fire. That's the message they listen to. All right, thank you guys. Wale wase wanaenda maandamano, be safe. Try as much as possible to be safe. You are a valued member of this country. You're a Gen Z and we appreciate you. Anybody else who's going, who's a Gen Y, when you talk millennials, the Gen Xs, anyone is welcome as long as you are following the same trajectory. Wacha mavijana warani kitu. All right, thank you guys. See you later. I will hold a space at the end of the day, probably at night.
Thank you.